Welcome to Super Black. I am your host, Carl Waldron, and this is Why Do Black Superheroes Have Electric Powers? I was scanning the internet, guys. I was scanning it. I was on it. And I was looking for topics that would be relevant to anyone who would visit Super Black. And one question kept popping up. And honestly, it's been a question that I had since I was little. And I never tackled it because I didn't, have an answer. But I finally decided it's time. It's time to answer the age-old question of why do black superheroes have electricity powers and lightning powers, and they're just very electrically charged. This falls in line with some of our other pieces that we've done. One being one of my favorite, which is why do black superheroes have metal limbs? That was a good one. And what was the other one? Why do black superheroes or black supervillains have the word black in their name? And both you can check out on Super Black. Super.black is the website. You can head over there and find those articles, all insightful as this will be. So the answer to the question, I'm gonna give it to you right now. The answer to the question of why do black superheroes have electricity powers is what it is. Honestly, there's no conspiracy theory to why it exists. There's no rhyme or reason. And the reason that there's no rhyme or reason is that every character that is blessed with electricity powers is written by a different person. So it's not a collective hive mind decision to say, okay, black superheroes or, black characters in comic books or whatnot should have electric powers. It just happens. That does not mean that it is a coincidence. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's ubiquitous. It's prevalent. It exists and it continues to exist. It's perpetual. It just sort of happens, right? The same way. Well, let me double back. This is in contrast to the question of why do black superheroes have the word black in their name. There is a very clear reason why. It's pretty and the collective hive mind of writers and creators sort of fall on that trope because it's an easy moniker, right? And we won't get into the details of that whole discussion. You can check out the episode dedicated to that. It's a whole thing, and I won't step on my own content. That would be ridiculous. Why would I do that? But in terms of black superheroes with electricity powers, it just is, guys. It just happens. I couldn't find a legitimate tie between all of the black superheroes with electricity powers. There wasn't like one cohesive thing that sort of landed with all of them. They all just sort of have lightning powers, and it just is. The variety between them is also not, very wide. So there's, and you can see in the article, there's Storm, and then there's Thunderer, which is a fantastic and incredibly difficult name to say. Thunderer, who control the weather. They just have powers. Gifted by the gods, let's say. So Storm is a mutant, quote unquote, and I've had this conversation with Dan multiple times that she's not a mutant. She is a god, a weather witch, whatever you want to call it, but there's no mutant gene that can make her control the weather. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's all ridiculous, right? But in the the pantheon of like mutants in the X-Men, she's definitely like a god, right? That goes the same way for Thunderer from DC Comics. He is a deity. He has godlike powers, and but his godlike powers are that he can control lightning and storms, and he can create localized storms. Like he can make a lightning storm right above his head, or down the block, or whatever. And he's an incredibly powerful superhero. Then there are the science accidents where like Static. He got his powers from the Big Bang in the Dakotaverse, and it gifted him incredible lightning powers. And then there's Black Lightning, who I don't actually remember his origin story. So forgive me while I speak about Black Lightning and how he got his powers, but I don't really remember. You can go back and check one of the Black Lightning episodes that I did years ago where I probably said it. It's been so long and I'm so old. But he just has incredible lightning abilities. But I think there is a tie between Static and Black Lightning. I would bet money that Static was, if nothing else, inspired by Black Lightning. And they do exist in the same universe. And I believe there was a cartoon or a comic or something where Black Lightning and Static met. And there were some sort of mentor-mentee relationship. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. I'll look that up. I'm spouting unconfirmed facts. But they have a sort of tie. They have very similar powers, and Storm and Thunder have similar powers, but outside of the sort of origin of their abilities, there's no real tie to say, well, all four of these people have lightning powers because they're black because blank. It just is a trope. It's just a thing. And there's no better example of that than Miles Morales. It's such a strange trope when you throw Miles in. That's when it gets weird, because Miles Morales was just Spider-Man, right? But to make him a different Spider-Man from Peter Parker, they gave him different powers on top of his spider powers. So he has everything that Peter has, but then also what you call venom blasts, which is just bioelectricity that allows him to shock people, or from the movie Across the Spider-Verse, he can like disable force fields with this electricity. I didn't understand why Miles got that ability. And being a young black superhero, then getting electrical powers, I was like, wait a minute. What is this trope, and why does it exist, and why is it so prevalent? I can't find a negative to it. I think that's what's so confusing to me. Not confusing. Or confounding. Confounding is worse than confusing, right? That's what's so puzzling. There you go, that's a better word. That's what's so puzzling to me. There's no negative aspect to this trope. Black superheroes having lightning powers is it's a good thing. Lightning powers are awesome, right? And referencing like the metal-armed trope, why black people in comics or video games would not have metal limbs, I could see the benefits and the negatives of that trope, which again, go listen to that episode. You'll get a breakdown of my thoughts on that. But lightning powers, I couldn't find a negative. Can you? Let me know in the comments, or, ping me, whatever. But I'd love to know I'm opening this up to the internet, and when I do that, you can always find a negative. So maybe I'm going to retract that. Don't tell me the negatives. It's fine. I'll live in the ignorance of that. It's just a great trope that we get to enjoy. But yeah, in my travels of scouring comic books and video games, I couldn't find a reason why lightning powers would be bad. And yeah, it just exists, guys. I think it's a trope that we can lean into and have some fun with and just celebrate. Because why does everything have to be negative, right? Everything doesn't have to be, a slight against people. It could just be fun. So, thank you so much for listening to this companion piece to why black superheroes have electric powers. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting app. I won't promise that there will be new episodes coming soon, because I always do that and I always drop the ball. But I will say Super Black is a priority to me. And if I can find a way to make more episodes more consistently and you people want it and I hear from you, I will do that. So thanks again for listening, and full stop.